It is the new Edgar Wright film, The Running Man. So I get to start this one off. So yeah, The Running Man, based on a Stephen King story, directed by Edgar Wright, like I said. It stars Glen Powell as Ben Richards, the role originally played by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s. And this is a not too distant, like futuristic version of the world of the United States where everything is kind of controlled. There's the haves, there's the have-nots. The government and the network are trying to keep things that way, and they give these little moments of hope for the little guy that are brought about through these game shows. The biggest of those being The Running Man, which is as I described it to my wife, she said, so it's like the Hunger Games meets the Purge. It's like, I mean, kinda. That's not a bad way to think of it, as someone is running for their life and last one standing wins more money. And if you make it all the way through 30 days, you get $1 billion, $1 billion. But the people around you can report you and earn some money too. So the whole country plays as these people are running. And you've got Glen Powell, who is one of the runners. You have Katie O'Brien, who I'm trying to find here on the cast list now, and I can't find her name. She is another one of the runners. And then the third runner that is competing is played by what's his face from Please Don't Destroy. Martin Herlihy is the third runner. And this movie just kind of flies you're a half hour in and we're done with exposition. We're done with everything. We're in the game. And we see Glen Powell running for his life and all these, we really just follow Glen Powell the whole time. And we get little updates on different stuff. This cast is big too. You've got Dexter's own David Zayas popping up, which is a lot of fun. The standouts here, I would say, are probably Coleman Domingo and James Brolin. Josh Brolin. Good grief. What am I doing? Josh Brolin is the other standout. James Brolin probably could have been in there too. Also, I think Jamie Lawson, who plays Ben Richards' wife, is kind of a standout here too. And I was like, I know I've seen that face before. Why have I seen it? Because she's been in 11 things and I've seen like half of them. She played the mayor of Gotham in the Batman. She's in The Woman King. She's in How to Blow Up a Pipeline. She's in Till. She's in Sinners. She's kind of been all over the place the last few years as she's burst onto the scene. So keep going. Like you're pretty amazing. This is a thrill ride that is a very fast 2 hours and 15 minutes. This movie flies by because it is nonstop going. The trailers made it feel like it was going to be a little more like slapsticky than it actually was. Like it made it feel like it was going to be like an action comedy. That's not the vibe at all that you get from this. I think at times Glen Powell might be a little miscast. He's a great leading man, but he's supposed to be this guy with this incredible temper. And like, he doesn't portray that well. It just is like, oh yeah, temper. Oh, I'm angry now. And then it goes away for the next like half hour. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be angry. I'm mad man. And then it comes back. But you've got Edgar Wright at the helm. And when Edgar Wright's at the helm, he doesn't really steer you wrong. And it's been a long time since he's made something even like mediocre. And I don't think this, unless you're talking to Zach and you're being asked about the Sparks Brothers.
It's true.
I think I think this movie, it's good. It could have been great. It's got a lot to say about just kind of life in general and where certain things are going, and that's the Stephen King of it all, I think. But Edgar Wright knows how to make a fun film. He knows how to make an entertaining film, and he definitely does here. I'm giving it 3 stars. Like I said, it could have been better. Maybe someone else in the lead role that's has a little more edge to them, that isn't so like cookie cutter leading man. Which it's funny that's what Glen Powell's become. I think Glen Powell's a lot better as your supporting character, but then he got too big to be the supporting character anymore. So We're all waiting for him to like finish his Colin Farrell arc and go back to being one of the better supporting characters out there. 3 stars for me on The Running Man. Let's go to Todd next.
Okay, yeah, Glen Powell, I still hold to the fact that I don't think he's a movie star. Like he's a boring movie star, but he's a really good actor. So in this, it doesn't necessarily work. He's trying to be Bradley Cooper in this, I think, but he doesn't have that magnetism to actually pull off the role perfectly. But I mean, shit, they have him run around in a towel and bare-assed for 15 minutes just to remind us why he's famous. You know, like it was such a random thing to do, but I mean, I guess that's what you have to do. But he gives a commendable performance overall. But he and Coleman Domingo bring a level of like determination and believability, sort of, that brings the movie up a little bit. The premise is pretty goofy. I mean, it is like Hunger Games. It's similar to The Long Walk as well. And it has like the ups and downs that movie does too, and it just shows that young Stephen King was evidently like an angry revolutionary. But I suppose that sense of anarchy is always going to play somewhat well. The movie is an Edgar Wright movie for sure. I mean, Michael Cera shows up in a movie about one man versus the world. I think we've seen that before. The movie plays like a video game, while also making it seem a little bit like an Andrew Niccol movie. I don't know. It kind of gets better as it goes along until it goes off a cliff. The third act, the last 45 minutes or so, are completely ridiculous. I don't even know why it had to go there. It just got so dumb at the end when like you need to stick the landing in something like this, like a battle royale or whatever does. It's not able to come close to doing that. And the action scenes reminded me a little bit of like Triple X. It's like an action spectacle, and you're not really sure in any situation like if what you're watching is actually what you're watching or who is who. But I mean, there's no subtlety in this. It's got the subtlety of a sledgehammer, but I mean, it feels more like like an overblown sequel than it does like the start of a potential franchise or something like that. And it also kind of feels like a more financed like direct to video Leota meter. It's kind of strange. I watched the original a couple weeks ago, and that one was kind of stupid. This one is like slightly better. The last 2 Edgar Wright movies made my top 10s of their years, and this will not be one of them. I'm at like a low 2.5 stars.
All right. I think we're not that far off. It's just I enjoyed what was on the screen a little more than you did, but I think we both read the same thing out of the movie.
Yeah.
Zach, how about you?
Yeah, I'm also thumbs down on it. This is a big disappointment. Even though you're right, I don't love the Sparks Brothers movies. Edgar Wright is obviously someone with a lot of talent and skill. And so going into this movie, I thought, hey, let's get a nice sort of refreshing take on an 80s, I guess, semi-classic movie with Edgar Wright's sort of comic, mercurial, eccentric sensibilities. And maybe we'll have some, and Michael Cera's in it. Maybe we'll have some nice pop music, sex bomb on, maybe needle drop or something. This movie is so just like mainstream dumb action. There's nothing ironic or satirical about it. It is like, I don't know if this was Wright's intention or maybe the production company, but he opted to lean into essentially just making a very standard action movie. Like Todd was saying, I mean, this movie could have starred Ray Liotta and it could have been direct to video in 1997. The premise, we've seen this, Terry said it, we've seen it in a million different movies, the dystopic reality TV series gone awry. We see the Josh Brolin character, who's sort of like an amalgam of every villain in the Divergent, Hunger Games, Maze Runner universe. There is absolutely nothing original in this movie. The action sequences are bland and dull. I think it wastes a lot of talent of otherwise talented people. Coleman Domingo, I hope he makes another Sing Sing off the paycheck he got for this movie. Same with Amelia Jones, who was just wasted in this movie. Look at her outfit, too. My God. And Glen Powell. I think he's terrible in this movie. I don't think he shouts a lot. He's got his teeth kind of gnarling. You know you're in trouble with this movie when the movie asks a trivia question about the number of restrooms on an airplane in the first 5 minutes, and you know that that's going to be a big plot detail later on in the movie, and of course it is. The only kind of interesting kernel of the movie, which the movie's too stupid to understand the significance of it, but it is sort of interesting. This is one of the first movies that I've seen where The character is, he's tete-a-tete with this evil supervillain played by Josh Brolin. And the way that Josh Brolin torments him is not necessarily through a firing squad, although that does happen, but it also is because Josh Brolin is able to use artificial intelligence to broadcast fake chat GPT sort of videos of things that Glen Powell never says. That's sort of an interesting dynamic. The movie is too dumb to ever fully explore the ramifications of that. It's like this movie, which, by the way, for some reason blends like analog video cassette tapes with like streaming devices and, again, AI that controls everything. It's like, when does this movie take place? It's odd. It's got this really annoying kind of Blade Runner washed out look to it. I hated everything about this movie. I think it's one of the worst movies of the year. Certainly Edgar Wright's one of his worst movies as well. And I don't feel any pride in saying that. I mean, this is a talented cast with a talented people behind the camera too. It's a 1-star movie for me, and it is a complete and total catastrophe. I don't know why this movie was released in November, but I wish Edgar Wright had applied some of the same sensibilities that made Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz so fun to watch. It's just not present here. This could have been anyone who could have directed this, and maybe they might have done a better job too. So, real disappointment.
All right, Adam, am I alone here giving this thumbs up?
Yes, because I didn't see it. But I did see the 1987 version way back then. I think the funniest part about that is that the host of the Running Man show was played by Richard Dawson. I thought that's a pretty good little touch. So. Shout out to the old 87 film. I only watched the one time. Schwarzenegger's pretty good in that movie. It's a fun movie. But he's done better movies, and it's kind of interesting that The Running Man is getting this kind of sequel, but I guess it's just, the Stephen King train is hitting full steam this year because of the Welcome to Derry TV show, The Long Walk, and now the third property, The Running Man. So,
yeah, I was watching the interview with Edgar Wright, and he was saying how Schwarzenegger told him that this is the one movie of his that he actually accepts that there could have been a remake of, and but apparently Schwarzenegger, he said, is the president in this universe because he's on the $100 bill or whatever that they flashed at the beginning of the movie, and so he's supposedly the current president, which they never show. Which that would have been fun if they actually did.
Nice. Yeah, that I noticed that too. I just realized that Amelia Jones is the one at the end. Like I saw her in the credits and I was like, oh yeah, she's in this movie. And then when that girl pops up, I'm like, who is that? And then I finally, you saying it, I was like, oh, that's Amelia Jones. I should have figured that out.
Complete waste.
All right. 3 stars from me. 2.5 from Todd, 1 star from Zach. Adam will see it. I think Adam will he'll be 2.5 or 3 stars on this movie, I think, when he does. But for right now, that's what we got. Moving on.